Alright, so I've just completed doing one of the blend shapes. I've got a number more to do, but from here what I'm going to do at this point is I need to clean up the rig. So all of these will be set to be there. Now the rest of the rig itself, I'm going to select here and I'm going to lock and hide my scale and visibility there. You can keep the visibility, that's up to you, but I'm going to get rid of it, lock and hide, and I'm going to continue this process, lock and hide, because I do not want any of these scales to affect anything on my rig. The only thing that should affect the scale is my global control. Here, I won't need any of these. Lock and hide, here as well. Lock and hide. And on these ones, lock and hide, I actually don't need the translate either. Only the rotate. Now I'm doing this to make sure that I don't mess my rig up at any point while animating. For my root control, I will have the translate and rotate, lock and hide. But you can be pretty certain that the scale will be removed from each one. Lock and hide. Lock and hide. Lock and hide. And I'm just going to run through my entire rig doing this. Alright, so here, scale, lock and hide, translate, lock and hide, very repetitive process. For this, I also believe I have this orient constrained as well. I do. So I have my translate X, Y, and Z here set up for this, and I also have it on an orient constraint so I control the rotate and the translate in case I need to make a rotation to the jaw, so on and so forth. So I'm going to keep my translate and rotate on my jaw control as well. Here, lock and hide, lock and hide. So I only have my rotate, and then I have my facial expressions listed underneath that. And then I'm just going to run through and double check all of my controls are cleaned up. They all should be, but it's always best to double check. Here, I'm good. Neck control, good. Clavicle, good. Clavicle, good. And then always double check your pivot points at the same time. It's always a good practice, yep. And you'll notice I have W selected, and you'll notice it's grayed out because I don't want to be able to move it. I just want to be able to rotate it. So there's that. Here as well. Good. And before you lock and hide, actually, you want to make sure that you have that translate all good. Here we go. These should all control everything on, yep. Cool. That all works. Here, yep. So I will not be able to move, rotate, or scale my finger controls. Okay. so that's good. And then my root control, only translate here and rotate as well. So that's good. And then double check here, translate and rotate, that's good. As well here. And then here, I should be able to do everything and just go ahead and scale it larger or smaller. And you're good. All right, so my rig is fully cleaned up. Everything's good to go on it. And yeah, oh, I almost forgot the eye controls. So here, scale, lock and hide. I could get rid of the rotate as well. The rotate, well, maybe on both of them it's slightly affected, so I will leave it on here. But here, let's see if it does. It's just hard to say. So here, I'm going to double check. Yeah, if you notice, I don't necessarily need the rotate on here. It doesn't do anything. Only the translate does. So that's a personal preference. Since it really technically doesn't actually do anything, I'm going to get rid of it. But you could leave it there in case it just becomes easier for you to look at while you're animating. In case he turns his head sideways, you could rotate it sideways. But I'm going to just get rid of it because it really technically doesn't do anything. Only the translate does. So I'm going to get rid of those. So this one does essentially change the rotation of it because the direction of them is changing. So I'll keep the rotate on my eyes control, but I'm going to leave the rotate off of the other controls. And that should be all of the controls that I have. And this camera, I'm just going to scale smaller. So here, this camera is this viewport. So here's where I'm at. I've got everything cleaned up. All of my joints are good to go. It scales very well. It's very, very clean per se. I cleaned up all my controls, so I don't have to worry about any errors happening while I'm animating. And it's the last thing that you do to make sure you set up. So then the other thing is you could assign. I know I didn't do this in my other one, but I'll do it now. Create layer from selected, and I'm just going to call this blend shapes. And I'm going to click OK, save, and then I'm going to hide that layer. So now all I see here is just the rig itself. So that is cleaning up the control rig. Thanks for watching.